You guys thought I actually thought Khamzat was going to win? I have just strategically placed the main event curse onto Khamzat Chimaev. Sean Strickland has just saved the middleweight division. I've never been more happy to get a main event wrong in my life. You guys don't get it. I am the reason that Sean Strickland got that split decision. Guys, we just found out that Chechen, brother, they are not the same as Dagestanis, okay? UFC 328 was actually cinema. Sean Strickland, the king of the upsets, yet again doing the unthinkable, defeating Khamzat Chimaev, who, look, that was a fraud check. We're gonna get into the main event, and Joshua Van, the founder of Van Nation. Look, I said what I said about Joshua Van being a fake champion, you guys. I don't believe you should win a belt off injuries, but look, at the end of the day, I've been picking him to win these fights. We always ride or die with Van. At the end of the day, I was so close to picking Taira, but we didn't cave. What a phenomenal card. Really phenomenal card. A perfect split, 7 correct picks, 7 incorrect picks. Truly a perfect balance. I wouldn't have it any other way. Guys, Khamzat Chimaev, I thought would really just slaughter Strickland on the ground, but as we found out, he is really a round 1 or bust merchant. I mean, seriously, round 1 was a complete stall-out round from Khamzat here, who got the back of Strickland. You know, this was clearly their game plan, as Armin said, was to go out there and get a round 1 rear naked choke over Sean Strickland, but Sean Strickland was able to reverse one of Khamzat's takedowns and actually end up on top, which was like never before seen cinema. Like, that was actually crazy, and it actually freaked Khamzat out. Like, I don't think he's ever been in that position in a fight before. Like, not even Gilbert Burns really got on top of him, but after this moment, Khamzat literally just elected to pure strike with Sean Strickland, and you don't have as many reps as Sean in that domain, okay? Sean is a sparring addict. Like, all he does is box in gyms. Like, you really think you're gonna win in a fight that way? And it was still close. It was still a nail-biter of a fight. Both guys were just welted up. Strickland had a broken nose. It was absolutely swollen. My man's turned into, like, Squidward after the fight. No, but he earned it, man. He absolutely earned it. And we have a lot of new fans who chuck around the word fraud check, but this was a genuine, like, exposing of Khamzat Chimaev's ground game. Because, like, let's look at these, like, first of all, Khamzat's Chechen. Let's look at these Dagestani grapplers. What do? They never abandon the grappling. Khamzat was delusional enough to think that he could strike on the feet. He's afraid of gassing out on the ground. Like, if he can't get that round 1 destruction, he just totally caves and, like, elects to have a striking fight. And as we've seen in, like, the Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman fight, Khamzat is nothing special on the feet. He cracks with good power. He's very fundamental, but you can't be a fundamental guy against Sean Strickland. He will absolutely just stonewall you with his defensive system, you know, the crafty Philly shell and all this. And look, Khamzat got let off easy. Strickland left the machine gun teep kicks at home. He literally just brought the jab and straight right bonanza. Like, Strickland won this fight with 2 combinations. I can't believe this. Look, he has just saved middleweight. I couldn't be happier. I was really doom and gloom in predictions because with Khamzat Chimaev at the top of the middleweight division, and if he did beat Strickland, I don't think there was many people to beat him, but I was clearly wrong because now I actually don't mind a Caio Borralho into Khamzat. I don't mind an Anthony Hernandez or even like a Dricus rematch. So I think Khamzat, what do? You move to 205. And let's be real, light heavyweight needs name value. Like, why do you think Paulo Costa moved up to 205? There's easier fights up there, in all honesty, and look, the division needs it, and Khamzat Chimaev, just go to 205, they will give you, like, a Yuri Prochazka, or like a Jan Blachowicz, Paulo Costa. I think that's a great fight to make next for Khamzat, but one more thing I want to touch on before we move on to fights to make next. Actually, the most casual shit I've ever seen, like, I'm not going to name any names, but there's a guy who released a YouTube short saying, like, Chimaev versus Strickland made no sense. And, like, vaguely, like, suggesting that the fight was, like, fixed. Like, That is the most, like, A plus B equals C fight I've ever seen. Khamzat tried to get a round 1 finish and got reversed by Strickland, got a taste of what it's like on bottom position, slowed down, and elected to pure strike. Like, how can anybody, like, Khamzat, Glazer, like, whatever, that is, like, textbook, like, how to lose a fight as a grappler, like, go for your round 1 aggro with your, like, spam shooting, get reversed, feel something you don't like, gas out, face adversity, and then strike, where you're not a striker. All of Khamzat's fights have been just round 1 destruction, and big shocker, if he didn't get that over Strickland, he's gonna fall apart, so I thought Khamzat would literally just, like, never let go of a body lock here and win by an awful decision, kill the sport dead, but no. Shout out to Strickland for being a defensive maestro. He is literally, like, one of the top 5 most defensive fighters in UFC history. Like, it's an ugly style of defense, but we have to admit now, it basically beats everybody, and, like, unless you're Alex Pereira and, like, sneak a nuke through, or the great Jared Cannonier and sort of rob him on the scorecards, it's really hard to beat Strickland. So, fights to make next. Sean Strickland, gimme Caio Borralho. Look, Imavov, fuck off and fight Dricus du Plessis. You had your chance to beat Sean Strickland on, like, a week's notice, and you fumbled it, being an overhand right merchant. Couldn't get it done. You lost to the worst version of Strickland, all bloated up at 205. You can fight DDP, that makes sense. You need to beat, like, a legit former champ. Your Izzy win is, like, not aging the greatest now that Izzy is sort of, like, going on his Ferguson arc. You just lost to Pyfer, so my boy, Caio Borralho, the Fighting Nerds guys, look, he's on momentum again. He just beat Rainier de Ritter by, like, really clean decision, pieced him up, looked way better on the feet, and that's just a fun fight for Strickland, and it's a new test. Strickland's fought, like, everybody in this division, so I want to see new blood. Caio Borralho versus Sean Strickland. As for Khamzat Chimaev, ship him up to 205. Look, 205 still needs name value. I want to see him fight, like, Yuri Prochazka or Jan Blachowicz. I think Paulo Costa, maybe they'll book that, but he's weirdly, like, having beef with, like, Josh Hokett, so I don't know what Paulo Costa's going to do. Impossible to predict his career. Fuck it, just move to 205. Forget this even happened. Pretty bad blemish on his career. Went for the usual round 1 domination. Got reversed by Sean Strickland. Put on bottom position and totally cowered it out. Bitched out as a grappler and just said, okay, I'm going to box for the rest of the fight. And lost on volume. Tried to outspar Sean Strickland. Yeah, good luck with that. And Strickland beat him on, like, 50% as well. Strickland, like I said, literally left, like, teep kick mania at home and schooled Khamzat with a jab in his parries. So, Khamzat, up you go to 205. Incredible fight, though. Like, shout out to the hardcores who picked Strickland here. Like, I guess the X factor that most of us just missed was how brain dead of a human Khamzat really is. Like, was he even ever good? Like, maybe that's just the Strickland effect. Like, the same thing happened with Izzy, but yet again, Izzy hasn't won since, so maybe we're looking at a Khamzat Chimaev losing streak. Who knows? Get up to 205 and try and, like, save your career that way. Incredible win from Sean Strickland. I thought he'd get slaughtered here, cooked with grappling, and just, like, literally laid on and groped upon for 25 minutes, but it didn't happen. He actually just saved middleweight, and I couldn't be happier. Let's move on to this heater of a flyweight co-main. Joshua Van Nation defeats Tatsuro Taira in a classic flyweight banger. This fight was actually amazing. Like, the 2000s kids gunning it out for the flyweight title. Look, I said what I said about Joshua Van, alright? I said, you know, you can't win a belt off an injury type thing. Like, gutted for Pantoja is what it is. This is, like, Van's first title fight. Round 1, Taira got his way and took down Van, and, like, that was sort of everybody's, like, hope and cope that, like, Taira would get him down and easily get a sub, but Taira did nothing in mount. Like, Joshua Van's anti-grappling goes beyond, like, the takedown defense. Like, he did a great job with his butterflies, got back to the cage, got Taira off of him. Like, Joshua Van was definitely stockier and stronger in this matchup. I know a big talking point going in was like, dude, Taira's a huge flyweight. Like, this dude's low-key a monster. Like, no, Van is the monster. He's, like, really heavily muscled for a flyweight. He's got the high elevation Myanmar mountain cardio to support it. And after that, like, round 2, the Van combos were just legit. Like, he's such a better boxer than Tatsuro Taira, who is, like, not great at moving his head, man. Like, Taira is a good, sharp striker, yes, but, like, Van turns these into, like, actual boxing matches where, like, you need better defense or he's just gonna rip you up, like. And all credit to Taira, like, Van hit an absolute fucking flow state. Like, Joshua Van went fucking god mode in that third round, just, like, never-ending combos, fucking knocks down Tatsuro Taira. And then just when we think Tatsuro Taira is, like, lunch meat, he pulls an Oriri and comes back and just puts it back on Van. But Van doesn't slow down and just keeps applying that pressure, ripping up Tatsuro Taira. I said the body shots would be nasty work over Taira here. We did a lot of good analysis on this fight, and it really paid off because I was flip-flopping. I was so ready to pick Taira because Van, it is such a rapid career rise for him because of how active he's been in the division, but dude, it's paying off. This just solidifies, like, flyweight is guaranteed, like, my absolute favorite division in the UFC right now. How could it not be? Fights to make next. Joshua Van, look, I know he called out Pantoja, and that is sort of the fight that got away, right? We do need to see that. However, if Pantoja's not ready to go in, like, 3 or 4 months, then he's probably going to get passed up on either Manel Kape, Kyoji Horiguchi, depending on how that fight goes. That fight goes down in June, I believe. And look, we did a breakdown on that as well because we were getting prepared for the aftermath of this win. So if Manel Kape or Kyoji Horiguchi gets a quick finish over the other, I think they'll sort of leapfrog Pantoja if Pantoja's not ready to go, because we know Joshua Van likes to stay active. So Tatsuro Taira took a lot of damage in this fight. I mean, a lot. Tatsuro Taira, who do you give him next? This is going to seem like a weird one, but I think Steve Erceg versus Tatsuro Taira makes a lot of sense. Erceg's fresh in everyone's minds. He had a really good win on UFC Perth, and so they'll go with that. They'll run with that, absolutely. Probably in like 6 months, they'll absolutely book Steve Erceg, Tatsuro Taira. Who else really is there, right? Like, Kai Kara France left the sport. Amir Albazi's trash, so Tatsuro Taira, absolute banger fight. You did win 2 rounds, Taira, so like, I don't want to trash him here. It was a close fight. Like, Taira is still an elite level flyweight. It's just like, Van's the man, dude. Van's the fucking man. Holy, what a matchup. Impresses me yet again. Like, I'm such a big supporter of this dude, but his boxing, his anti-grappling was sick. Feature fight, Alexander Volkov, Waldo Cortez Acosta. We went with Acosta. I finally caved, and look, dude, the one time I pick him, like, I will never predict this man correctly. He's got fast hands, and Volkov is actually, like, really slow. Like, no one wants to admit it. Like, he's just so tall and technical, but he's slow as shit. Like, his feet, his hands, but dude, he put on a leg kick masterclass here. Waldo Cortez Acosta has been awful at just responding to leg kicks. Like, he will check him every now and then, but, like, he's just too happy to let his legs get destroyed. So that's exactly what happened. Volkov with a high IQ, heavyweight game plan here. And Waldo gets, like, genuinely, like, emotional. Like, every single fight, he is, like, taunting you, screaming at you, and, like, I think it's low-key, like, having just a hissy fit in the cage because things aren't going his way. Like, so yeah, emotional fighter, and I don't know what I was doing picking him. I've trashed him his whole career, but picked him here against Volkov. Fights to make next. Alexander Volkov has really fought everybody, but also lost to, like, everybody notable, like Gon, Aspinall, even lost to Curtis Blades. I guess you could rerun that one. I don't see why not. Blades coming off the Hokett loss. Curtis Blades is rapidly, like, on the decline. Like, I swear I'm not rage baiting. I really wasn't a fan of Blades' performance in that one, so he should rematch Volkov, and I think Volkov beats Curtis Blades, man. Salsa Boy versus Josh Hokett. Seems like a fun build-up and, like, an underrated heavyweight banger, so let's make those fights next. As for Joaquin Buckley versus Sean Brady, this one I am embarrassed by because Joaquin Buckley got nothing done. He got 10-8'd every single round with control. And look, you can argue they weren't 10-8s like Brady literally does. He was Jailton Almeida maxing. No damage from Mount. That was actually kind of pathetic. Brady probably could have been a champion, just, like, not in this era of welterweight. Like, a couple years ago, like, Tyron Woodley era, like, maybe even farther back, like, Carlos Condit, Nick Diaz era, Sean Brady maybe would actually be a good champion, but I think nowadays at welterweight, he's a little bit too small and a little bit too much of a pipsqueak on the striking. And look, he's technical. He shut down Buckley, which you have to be good to do. The grappling intelligence of Sean Brady, like that gym, like Renzo Gracie Philly, like they are grappling wizards, okay? Buckley was 100% neutralized. I didn't see that happening. I've seen Buckley stuff takedowns off of middleweights, off of really big men, and so I thought he would sort of stonewall Brady here, but no, dude. But no, I know we joke about it, but Buckley, you actually need to go like 2-3 years Dagestan and forget, like seriously. And about a year ago, I made a breakdown on Buckley, and I wasn't afraid to say it. He has 0 BJJ. He is a power puncher, just like looking for highlight reels, and these days at welterweight, yeah, good luck with that. Everybody's crazy technical, and we'll figure you out like that, so all props to Sean Brady. I would have liked to see a submission because I know he's got submissions, and he did go for like a nasty Kimura or an arm lock on Buckley, but didn't get it. Oh well. I like Brady, man. And I think he fights better when he has a chip on his shoulder. Like now that people are doubting Brady, he's actually like locking in and showing up. So fights to make next. Sean Brady, I would love to see in 2 particular matchups. Mike Malott, because we need to see Mike Malott fight like a legit grappler. Gilbert Burns was not. Okay, stop. Or Yaroslav Amosov, who is like very, very highly touted, who made me look like a fool. I went with Alvarez like a casual. Like we said, 7-7 on this card. All things in perfect balance, perfect harmony. Dude, Amosov's a beast, and Mike Malott is insanely technical and needs a grappling test. So Sean Brady will absolutely get those fights next. I don't think he gets like a Protas, a Gary, a Morales rematch. That ain't happening. Brady's probably going to have to fight down again. As for Joaquin Buckley, fight the D-Rod Leon winner or the loser. I mean, maybe there's a world where they do JDM Buckley because they're like 2 of the most fun guys at welterweight, and they want to guarantee one of them a win, so that could actually be next, like, against everybody's opinion, and, like, that could be a real shocker. 2 fun striking welterweights who you want to, like, not see go on a losing streak and sort of prolong their careers, give us fun striking fights. I think you book that fight next for Buckley. Thy king himself, King Green, masterclassing Jeremy Stephens. Who could have guessed? Like, Stephens was beyond washed, okay? Had no idea why he was re-signed. This was sort of a manufactured, like, get Green a win type thing on a pay-per-view to just, like, guarantee a fun main card, but, like, all respect to him, like, he actually has good fight IQ. He's actually, like, a savvy, slick vet, because he will go to, like, takedowns, and people forget, King Green submitted Tony Ferguson in round 3, had an awesome performance there, so. Nah, Green's awesome. I'm sort of joking. Green is actually awesome. It's either, like, flow state boxing masterclass, like over Daniel Zellhuber, that fucking beatdown, or he has crafty subs, like actually really slick wrestling from Green as well. This shows he's not like permabaked, like I clown on him to be. Like he actually has fight IQ, taking down Jeremy Stephens like that and getting like the cleanest path to victory. So kudos to Green, absolutely deserves some shine on this card for that. Pretty sure Jeremy Stephens retired, like, yeah, back to BKFC with you, like, trading brain cells for money. Fights to make next, who cares? Give King Green whoever you want. Just give him fun fights, anybody who's fun at lightweight. Do King Green versus Beneil Dariush, I'd love to see that. Oteba Gautier, Ozzy Diaz, folks. Look, the great and powerful Oz goes down, okay? He had sort of a good, crafty survivalist first round over Gautier, who is just an inaccurate fucking spaz. Like, I'm sorry, I got a rant about Gautier still. Like, dude, he's not gonna go any farther. Like, he is inaccurate. He threw like 60 punches in round 1 and missed almost all of them. He's just a young fighter with power. He's just fought nobody good yet for the world to see this, and yeah, absolute fake prospect with a manufactured career. Like, dude, let the guy grow. Give the guy actual tests so he grows. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he called out Israel Adesanya, and they should make that fight because Israel Adesanya is like leaps and bounds above Gautier in terms of technique and experience. So please, UFC, make that fight. Thank you, Gautier, for actually calling out an opponent for once, because the UFC seems hell-bent. The matchmakers are just horny as fuck to, like, match you up with cans. So good job calling out Izzy. I hope they make that fight next. I want to talk about Jim Miller. Jim Miller, dude. Nobody talks about this dude, but Jim fucking Miller. Every single win of his, in the past decade, since 2016, has been a finish, like, all submissions, all KOs. Unk strength is real. Like, Jim Miller is so impressive to me, man. And just when I think he's going to, go on a skid, he pulls it back. Like, I don't know if it's just matchmaking throwing him a bone. Like, he was born in fucking 1983. Like, he's so old, but he's so good at fighting. His system is down to a science. He's a crafty veteran Unk southpaw with good power still. He catches Jared Gordon in a guillotine who really gave it up. I said it in predictions as well. I'm kicking myself. The IQ of Jared Gordon is that of a special needs kid. Like, incredible win. Shout out to his son who beat cancer. And in the post-fight presser, called out McGregor. Now, hear me out. McGregor might just bite on that, okay? Like, seriously, like, I really don't buy his bravado anymore. Like, I think he legitimately could have ducked Chandler. Like, that's how low his confidence is as a fighter. Like, with the losses to Khabib, the losses to Poirier, and the broken leg, and just all the shit that's happened in his life outside of the cage, he might just cave and take a Jim Miller matchup. So, actually a genius call out by Jim Miller of Conor McGregor. So that has to be the fight to make next, right? UFC 328 S-tier card. Absolute S-tier card. In terms of, like, where the divisions go from here, flyweight with Joshua Van Taira, one of the best flyweight fights of all time. Close fight, competitive fight. Van gets a hard-fought victory in style. And Sean Strickland saving the middleweight division. The MMA gods heard our prayers. I couldn't be happier. Khamzat Chimaev, stock drops massively. Chechens are not Dagestanis. Sorry for the pick. Not sorry. I intentionally cursed Khamzat Chimaev. We are moving on to the Apex. We have Arnold Allen taking on Melquizael Costa, the Dalmatian. Super sick striking matchup coming your way next. Hope you guys enjoyed UFC 328. Strickland just saved middleweight. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all real soon.